See this book? I got this for some friends in England, bought me this for my birthday. And it's full of lovely illustrations. And as I was looking through these illustrations and seeing through them, what the book reminded me of was a catechism that they'd use in Catholic schools, or a missal, to show illustrations. There's almost a reverence in it to the God of the Bible and Jesus and so on, teach kids about religion. And then it's dawned on me, well, that's not a silly idea at all, because the Cthulhu mythos, as you've seen in my documentary, Liber Providence, has taken on all the necessary requirements of a new emerging polytheist religion, and with good cause. And we're seeing the collapse of the Abrahamic world. Its last throw of the dice is this climate change hysteria. And most of the people who follow my work, read my books, watch these videos, are just a part of my life, are generally all pagans. If they're not pagans, they're Hindus or other kinds of polytheists or animists, and some Luciferians, and even quite a lot of atheists who are not Abrahamic atheists, in that they're genuinely not driven by their interest in science and so on. It's not driven by end time events, judgment days such as climate change and things like this. They're more like agnostics. Now, all through the pagan world from the beginning of time, there has been the idea of a sacred animal. The cow is very, very sacred to polytheistic pagan, Indo-European paganism, Nordic, Celtic paganism, Hinduism. It's all there. Cow is a sacred animal for lots of reasons. Another sacred animal to pagans is the owl. The owl sees in the dark. The owl is associated with the goddess Athena, a very powerful archetype these days. And it represents intelligence and seeing into things that are hidden through things such as using your intuition and your senses and being aware of your environment. And then the other one would be the raven, and there's because it connects it's a transformative thing of death. Pagans don't believe in terminal events, so therefore we have a different relationship with everything from death. There's no such thing as a death or dying or an end time in paganism. This is the beginning of a new cycle. That's all, and that includes everything in humanity and in the natural world and the cosmos, including the unseen world of the soul and so on, the consciousness. Now, so therefore, we're not waiting for a judgment day. Other ways we see, that's also why we see in animistic terms. We know that the planet is alive and living and will sort us out. If we were really a danger to us, it would unleash a pandemic that would be antibiotic resistant and would just wipe most of us out. And we know that the planets and this, we can point to our gods. We can take someone out at night and say, look, there's Selene, the moon goddess. That's also why a lot of these Abrahamic truthers are all afraid of the moon, because that's a pagan thing an anti-pagan thing they picked up from their Christian identity origins. So we can point to Selene, we can point to Venus, Lucifer, we can point to Jupiter, we can point to Mars, we can point to our gods. And we know those planets have a consciousness too. And they're all involved in a symbiotic dance through the cosmos and the heavens to remind us that nothing in nature is an accident, and they play a part in our lives, and this is where astrology comes from. Now, when the stars come right again. Now, I'm going to throw another animal into this mix. Now, about, so I'm going to make this video a few times, so if I repeat myself, I'm sorry, I don't remember if the camera kept failing. But, again, I said that, and it's been proven, as you've seen it with your own eyes, that Loch Ness sightings would increase, Nessie sightings would increase with any work done on the Lescon house, because I believe, and I presented fairly good evidence to prove this, that Crowley created the Loch Ness monster. It's a disturbance in the field, an entity trapped in the lake that is powered and charged by anything focused on Crowley and the Lescon house. Then increasing sighting. There's an increase in sightings of Nessie. Now, and it's been shown, you see that yourself. Now, taking that one step further, I'm going to propose something in this video that we can all, in a grand experiment we can all take part in, and a grand experiment that we can observe over the years to come, and a new sacred animal that we can incorporate into our polytheistic pagan pantheon. Now, first of all, this idea came to me if you read the opening chapter of Sorcery, the Invocation of Strangeness, I recount the story where I was standing on top of the megaliths at Classy-Bon and looking out over the Atlantic, and just for a joke, I wanted to do the invocation of the Great Cthulhu. And I thought about it. Well, why did I do that? And then I realized, yeah, this is it. This ties everything together, and that became the seed of what I'm now calling chaos paganism. But other people have been doing this as well. I like the term chaos pagan. I like the idea, but more and more I think about it. There's a video, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a video called Chaos Paganism on this channel. Look down. And there's also a link on to Mossip Stone's article. Now, the new sacred animal I would like to propose that ties that, should we say, that insight that I had at Classy-Bon Megalith, looking out at the ocean, with the stars, space, and the sea, and that's the octopus. Not all the cephalopods, just the octopus, okay? Now, I spoke in another video today about how strange the octopus is. I think it was the book, one of the things I was slagging off, Extinction Rebellion. And the octopus is remarkable. There's no, it's absolutely an alien being living on this planet. It's probably as intelligent, as near intelligent as human beings. In fact, it would be intelligent, more intelligent than some human beings. I'll give you an example. The octopus has remarkable abilities for abstractive thought, cognitive problem solving, and spatial awareness. Now, if you look at someone like the flat earthers, what's wrong with them is they literally do not understand abstraction, perspective, spatial awareness, and cognitive processing of these data, because they think they live on a flat plane. Why they think they live on a flat plane and they become epigenetic and start thinking in a flat plane, they lose their cognitive processing, mainly because of three things: Christianity, cannabis, and cheap lager. That's really what brings them to their mental faculties being reduced. They're actually devolving. Flat earthers are human beings that are no longer evolving, they're devolving. They're losing their spatial and abstractive awareness. Now, the octopus has remarkable abilities to do this. The octopus has 9 brains, 1 in its head and 8 in each of its tentacles, its arms. You can give it a problem and it can solve it. If it's take one from the wild and you can give it a problem, it will solve it. And you can change and alter the model. It will, on the fly, understand exactly what you've done and then compensate through its cognition in order to get around the new version of the model. There's nothing like this in nature other than human beings of that complexity and that level. Now, it's as I said in the other video, octopuses are booming. They are increasing in phenomenal numbers all over the world, and they're remarkable and able to adapt to their environment. For example, they're normal solitary creatures, but off the coast of Italy, near Capri, they're actually banding together to form hunting groups to attack animals that would normally attack them. And it's the most remarkable thing to see little octopuses attacking big, huge conger eels and moray eels and so on. And they're swarming and they're thinking together and they're working together. There was recently a story in Wales where octopuses actually came off the beach together one night. Now, they're almost like a fleshy internet in the way their nervous system is wired. They're actually a neural network they're an internet where we just have one brain and a nervous system. They have 9 brains connected through an internet of nerves. They've already got a huge advantage over us on that sense. Another advantage they have is they can actually in real time alter their RNA. This is incredible for a complex creature that's not a vertebrate, and it has the power of invisibility and shape-shifting. It can go into a coral and not only color itself the color of a coral, but shape-shift its body to simulate coral. In experiments in laboratory conditions, they have put octopuses in glass cages on the ground, put geometric and random patterns of different colors, and say introduce a shark into the tank. To hide from the shark, the octopus would immediately change to the random pattern or the geometric pattern on the ground. Instantly. They don't even know how it does that. The octopus has an emotionality about it. It goes white when it's frightened, and it goes red when it's angry. It can mimic other creatures. It can lie down and swim on the seashore pretending it's a soul or a place. It can change the shape of its body to look like a hermit crab in a shell. There's no other animal like this. Nothing even close. It's it has an almost, its life cycle is almost like a story from mythology. They don't live very long, a couple of years. When the female dies, she gives birth to thousands of eggs under a rock. She takes care of these eggs, and then she almost transfers her life force into these baby octopuses, and perhaps even her consciousness. And then when that's done and the octopuses start hatching, she goes off to die. It's a beautiful thing. It's like it's almost mythological. It's deeply spiritual. So there's an element that they probably have a religiosity. The octopus has made its intentions known, that it wants to be noticed. It has made it, like the one chap spoke on the other thread about how sea urchin divers in Puget Sound, the octopus knows that the breathing apparatus on the diver is what keeps him alive, and they'll pull it off to try and drown the diver. This is beyond that, so I understand how even machines work. So, in the spirit of animism, and also in the spirit of synchronicity and chaos paganism, I'm going to propose that we now begin to venerate the octopus as a sacred creature. I live near the sea, and anytime I pass by the sea from now on, I'm going to stand there and silently pray to the octopuses, to, in my mind, project to them that I'm on their side. I worship them. I accept them as an equal species on this planet, and possibly the ones who will inherit the earth. Who knows? Maybe we're there. We're a virus they interjected into the world to rise. Even if you take the climate change things in it, what's the best way for the octopus to conquer more territory? Melt the ice caps. There's so many things here. So if you're up for this, I know a lot of people out there who follow my work are mostly pagans and animists. Let's begin to consciously, because there's already subconsciously happening through the Cthulhu mythos, millions of people all over the world are now worshipping, by default, the Cthulhu and Lovecraftian mythos. As I said in the Liber Providence documentary I made, it has all the trademarks of an emerging religion. Let's make it one. Let's do it. Let's take this and bring it into the next stage as an experiment also of our magical powers and our ability to alter this planet. Let's show them something that they can really scare the shit out of them. Okay, let's all, the thousands of people who follow me, watch my videos, read my books, let's all begin to consciously venerate the octopus. Not all cephalopods, just the octopus, right? All think of them, feel a kinship with them, venerate their amazing abilities, see them as probably the alien species that is here. Forget about the ones in the stars; they're here already. Venerate them, and then let's pay attention to the news and see if remarkable things start happening around the world, like octopuses coming on land in large numbers, doing things, acting strangely, doing things they're not supposed to. Let's make the octopus a sacred animal of the chaos pagan pantheon, venerate it, and bring its power force into charge. We already have the charge of the Cthulhu mythos to piggyback upon. So we already got that, okay? Now we're just taking it and fine-tuning it towards the objective. And the spiritual objective is the veneration of the octopus. And let's see what happens. Let's see what goes on. Let's observe the news. Let's see if there's changes. Let's begin a relationship between humans and octopuses. Let's do it. Let's bring that into fruition. as the sacred animal of the 21st century paganism. We've the Cthulhu people, the Lovecraftians, have already built the altar. Now let's venerate it. The temple is there. Let's do it. And because the Lovecraftian mythos is not an accident that it connects outer space intelligence, undersea intelligence, and gods, and outer space gods with megaliths, for God's sake. What's really big with people like us and megaliths? You talk about people discovering the lost, of Göbekli Tepe. Everywhere, there's huge megaliths underneath the ice and art. Lovecraft was a prophet and a seer, but because he was raised in a Puritan environment, he didn't know it. He didn't know it. We now know it. We now know it. Let's make this happen. I'm going to be very consciously now develop a sense of sacredness towards the octopus, a sense of kinship with the octopus, a sense of gratitude, a very powerful emotion with the octopus. Just like our ancestors had with the Owl of Athena, the Valkyries and the Morrigan. I'm not saying we should also drop them. We're bringing this as a new one into the pantheon, or the sacred cow of Hinduism and paganism. This could be a phenomenal experiment and a phenomenal validation of our own individual magical powers, and also a validation of our own paganism and animism. I'm really serious about this. I really want this to happen. The octopus is an ally of the pagan, of the pantheist, the animist, and we have a charge already in process. The electricity is there. Let's build the distribution system. Thank you.